What's up, man? How you doing?
Good.
They said from the start they never could envision a scenario where you got away and they wanted you back from the start. How good of a feeling does them to say that and then to follow through on it?
Oh, it's a great feeling. I'm so thankful for the opportunity. As always, I just want to thank God for just this position that I'm in. This organization has put a huge trust in me as a player since the day that I got here. So, I just want to embrace the whole situation and everything that's going on, and I'm just so excited for it.
Did you think this was going to play out like this for you during the process? And you wanted to get the deal done before the season, but is this where you thought it was going to end up?
Well, I just knew whatever happens is the best situation for me. I prayed on it a lot, and I knew God was just going to lead me to where I need to be, and that's here, that's at home, that's where I need to be, and that's where I should be. So I'm happy.
How likely did you think this scenario was going to be?
You just never know in free agency, but this is where I wanted to be, and throughout the whole process, I had my mindset on coming back here the whole entire time. So I'm happy it worked out this way.
You had your high school jersey retired, you made the NBA, and now this contract. Where does this rank as far as like emotionally? That night, was it emotional for you when?
Yeah, it was super emotional. I was in the grocery store when I heard about it, and I was with my brother, and my father called me and told me the deal was done. So I just jumped on my brother in excitement and was like, he's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" I was like, we did it, you know. So it was super exciting for me, and I think the biggest thing was just the community and the fans here, and how happy everybody was through social media and stuff like that. And that was a good feeling. That was good to see also.
Do you think you're being looked at as a cornerstone piece now that you're being expected to help take this franchise to the next level?
Yeah, I definitely do, and that's my goal. I always wanted to have that type of load. At the same time, our team has to take steps in the right direction. Now we have to crank it up a notch this upcoming season. We have to be ready. We have to really be focused on taking that next leap as a team.
What is your relationship like with Coach Skiles? You were there in Milwaukee with him, but where are you guys now?
We have a great relationship. Coach Skiles, I love to play for him. In Milwaukee, obviously, as you guys know, I was a young player and didn't get the time, that everybody expected. But that comes with the territory. It comes with being a young player in the NBA. But I've always said he's a coach that taught me a great NBA system, defensively, offensively. He really helped my career just by learning. When I got over here from Milwaukee, I had a good base, I had a good foundation, and that's what he's taught me. So it's going to be great to play for him again. I'm a different player than I was, and just us two together, I think it's going to be a great combination.
You had career highs in just about every category this past season. Is the next step for you now all-star level, more franchise player type step?
Yeah, but I would say before that it would just be trying to get to the playoffs. That's something that I haven't reached in my time in the NBA, and that's something that I want to get to. It's hard for me to watch this past season's playoffs, but I know that our team, with our talent, with our coach, with the direction that we're going in, I know we're going to make good things happen.
Where do you think you've seen the moves the team has made? It's added C.J. Watson's added, Jason Smith drafted his own. Where do you think the team stands now? How much of an upgrade, if any, do you see?
Well, I think it's a big upgrade for us. We obviously have needed a little bit more shooting. We've got that, and we got some good players that we know that can come in every single night and every single day and be professionals, and at the same time really give us an added help. We got some great leaders. CJ's been in the playoffs. He's been there. He's going to really help us. Jason Smith is a big body, big presence. He brings a good toughness to our team also. So I think we made some very good moves.
When you see the way the game is going with the small ball, you see the Draymond Greens of the world playing 4 and 5. I mean, does that allow you to play more 4, maybe stretch out defenses, use your quickness advantage at that position?
Yeah, I think versatility is the key now. And as everybody saw in the playoffs and in the championship, is that small ball that was pretty attractive during that time. So, I think that's one of my biggest tangibles is playing multiple positions and my versatility. And I also think we have a lot of guys who can play different positions. Mario can play 2-3, Aaron can play 3-4. Vic could play 2-1. We have a lot of guys that we can put in different situations. Evan could play 2-3, and that's only going to give us a more added depth for our team.
How do you keep the money, not from changing you, but from almost being a burden? Because, people are going to see that target and like, all right, he got the money, now let's see him produce.
Well, my thing ever since I've came in the NBA is it's not about, how much money I'm making. It's about the love of the game. And, I love this game. That's why I continue to work. When we had the deal done and agreed to the terms, I was in the gym, the next day. So for me, it's good to have that fun, that excitement for a day. But, it's still back to work because, with that, much is expected. And I think, it's not added pressure on myself, but I want our team to be successful. I want our fans. I want our city to really, enjoy our team and our games and to see us be a great team in this league. So, that's, I think, where my biggest motivation is.
As a guy who spent a year and a half with Scott Skiles, can you just talk about his ability to turn around defenses and attention to detail on the defensive end of the floor?
Yeah, we just got done talking. That was a big thing, was attention to detail and, really teaching our guys and the group of guys we have the fundamentals to his defensive system. But I think the biggest thing that, Coach Scott preaches is just heart, really outworking your guy that you're going against. And that's why I love about him as a coach. He's going to be fiery. He's going to be on us. And, I'm really excited for it.
How much of a relief to you, if any, is it to get this whole thing over with?
It's a huge relief. I think it's more relief because this is where I want to be. And this is, where I call home. This is where my family, they love to come and visit me here. And, this is where I'm connected in the community with the things that we do. So I think that was the biggest relief, is just, being somewhere that I wanted to really be.
What was the grocery store where you had that celebration, and did the manager have to come over to?
No, it wasn't that crazy, but it was. We just it was out there in the Hamptons, so it was. They weren't making too much of a mess of it.
How stressful? I mean, you had a great season last year, but looking back on it now, how stressful was it? Not knowing whether you're going to be here or not.
Yeah, it was a bit stressful at times. Obviously, not you guys, but the media kind of gets involved with some rumors, and fans think this and that. But I think everybody knows, where my loyalty and where my heart is at. So it was a little stressful at times, but I always say, man, everything's gonna work out for the best, and it worked out the best here, and I'm happy for that, and I'm blessed for the opportunity and situation.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate you.
New fishing spots, right?
Huh?
Mr. Harris.
Yeah,
I'm Josh Rob.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
John, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. You got 30 seconds? Oh, yeah. How emotional was this for you?
Tobias is extremely excited.
Hold on to that a second.
Oh, yeah.
He's working.
Give it to Larry Rhythm.
Larry, will you help us? Thank you.
So how do the natives?
Worcester. All right, everybody, what do we got today?
How happy are you to have Tobias back? You said all along that you didn't envision a scenario of him getting away. How happy are you to retain him?
Very happy.
I like that. What is he more now? You can look at him as a cornerstone of this franchise, of a deal that he signed.
Well, I think Tobias is a critical part of the team. He's been that way since his arrival, and he'll continue to be that way. So, you know, we're very excited to know that we have Tobias in the fold here for several years to come, and you know, he'll continue to be an important member of the team, and we see him continuing to grow with the rest of our guys.
Rob, maybe it doesn't seem to have taken long, but it kind of did take a long time to get this done. Why was that the case?
Why do you say it took a long time?
Well, just because it kind of lingered last year. He didn't know whether he was going to be back or not. The opportunity was open then for the club, right? So here we are, middle of July.
Sure. Well, I guess Terrell and I, we enjoy each other's conversations too much, so we wanted to be able to continue to have as much dialogue as possible.
Rob, you guys asked him to become a more complete player, and he defended well, better last season. He shot the ball from three better. How happy were you with him making steps this past season?
Well, you know, I think Tobias works incredibly hard at his craft, and that's one of the things we really value about Tobias and really like about him. And so I think the improvements he made last year, our vision and our hope is that it'll continue to snowball, and he'll continue to show improvement year after year after year. Was it surprising? No, because we fully understand how hard Tobias works, and we get to see it every day. So our expectation is that will continue.
With the sounds of his contract, a lot of people look at it, maybe a mark on his, on his back that he's getting the big money. Why aren't you worried that there will be pressure on him and that he will succeed and won't be burdened by this?
Well, look, there's pressure on all of us to perform, and the economy in the NBA is what it is now, and the money's going up, and the players are going to be paid, and rightfully so. So, yeah, there's pressure on all of us to perform, and certainly we expect Tobias to perform at a high level.
What was the rationale on the signing of Jason Smith?
We felt we needed a veteran addition to the front court, someone who brings experience, someone who brings, a proven team defensive component, and we just feel like, Jason's skill set fits with what we're trying to do. He can make a jump shot, he plays scrappy, he competes, and he's a great teammate. So we think all those qualities will be beneficial for the team.
This day and age of positionless basketball, a guy like Tobias, Aaron Gordon, guys who can play multiple positions, Victor, how much of a benefit is that for your team to have that many versatile guys?
I think it's helpful. It allows us to play with different lineups and potentially different styles. So we'll have to see how it all comes together. But yeah, we like versatility, and I think most teams like versatility. So the more versatile we can be, I think the better off we'll be positioned. Perfect.
Thank
All right.
Thanks, Rob.
You guys are taking it easy on me today. Thanks.
See you, Coach.
Coach, how happy are you to have a guy like Tobias back who can play multiple positions and do a lot of things for you?
Yeah, it's great. Like I said, I think it was the night I got hired, but he's a really good player and a really good person. And you don't want to let those kind of guys go. So, as you said, he plays multiple positions. He can shoot all the way out to the three. He can post people up, and the guy averaged over 17 points a game. So we're glad to have him back.
How overblown was all of the talk about you guys' time in Milwaukee with you two?
Well, I think Tobias already addressed that. I read at one point. Typically what happens is somebody leaks something like that to one of you all, and somebody's pretty lazy and they don't want to do any research, and so they just run with it, and then it goes all over the place. That's the business you're in. That's the business you're in.
That's the internet.
Yeah.
Scott, how much growth has he made in the 3 years? I mean, you had him as a 19 and a 20-year-old kid, and now he's, a day before turning 23. How much growth has he made in his game from what you've seen from afar?
Well, he was capable of playing then. He had a health issue early on in camp, and he missed a lot of time. Then he had to play catch up, and there was just some circumstances that went into that. We were a team a little bit in transition, sort of in between whether to go out and try to win games or develop the young guys, things like that. And but no, he's gotten better. I mean, Tobias works. He was a worker from the beginning, and generally when guys are willing to put in the time that he puts in, they're going to get better.
Coach, for someone who's been around the league, played in the league, coached in the league, and the way this team is now put together going into this season, is it a group of guys that can get to the into that playoff picture for where they've been the last 3 years and make that jump yet?
Well, we'll see. I hesitate being in the Eastern Conference of making that a goal, because you could have a losing record and still be in the playoffs in the East if things go the way they've been going. Hopefully that'll change at some point. But I want us to be thinking about having a winning record and then see where we're at. Typically you don't advance in the playoffs until you sort of get in one time, take some lumps, you come back the next year, you get better, you shore up some areas, and you the one, I guess, team that didn't go through that process was Boston when they got KG and Ray and all in one summer, and they were able to turn around quickly, going from low 20s to a title team. But usually, you got to get in, take your lumps. So of course we want to play postseason basketball, but I don't think that should be a goal. We certainly don't want to go 36 and 46 and somehow sneak in. We'd like to do better than that. But on the other hand, the quicker you can get some playoff experience under young players' belts, that's important as well.
So everywhere you've been, defense has improved. You've been at the top of the league in defense. How does a team without a true shot blocker play well on the defensive end of the floor? How do you compensate for that?
Well, you have to defend the painted area. It sure helps if you have somebody that can be out there and just protect the rim, and that's basically it. But you hope that your defense is good enough that that's not relied upon, because if that person is constantly challenged there and it's all on them, you're in trouble anyway, because they're going to get so deep in the paint, they're going to throw it out, make threes, and a whole bunch of other things are going to go wrong. So, I think we're going to be good on that end. How good, I don't know yet, of course, but I think we're going to be good. I think the guys are going to buy in, and we're going to play really hard on that end. And we've been a good rebounding team, defensive rebounding team, and that's the end of your defense. So, having that sort of in our pocket right away is big too.
How inclined will you be to play Tobias and Aaron Gordon at the 4 on occasion when other lineups make that possible?
Yeah, I think the game is in almost every single game against every team, even the big teams, at some point during the game there's small lineups out there. It's just the way it is now. People like to spread the floor and shoot threes, and we're no different. We'd like to play that way too, and usually when that happens, you're putting smaller players in the game, and so we'll see. I've never been afraid to put a certain lineups out there that I think will work, and as long as the lineup is going to defend as well as they can, whatever lineup it is, I'm not afraid of it. We've got a bunch of good perimeter players, ball handlers, passers, shooters, and a lot of times they'll probably be out there together.
Scott, how much are you looking forward to getting these guys out on the court? It seems like you got some young pieces, guys ready to take the next step, some versatile guys out there.
Yeah, we are looking forward to it. This is obviously kind of the dead time right now. We're right, not a full-blown end of free agency, but close, league-wide. So, it becomes kind of a quiet time, but the guys are working, and, we're in communication with them, and our guys have shown already their willingness to put in the time in the gym, and then we'll start filtering back, or the players will. I mean, we'll be here, but they'll start coming back, mid-August, early September, and we'll get back in the gym together again and get ready for camp.
Do you have that itch now to get back? I mean, you've been out of, traveling, coaching, and now you're back in it. Are you really looking forward to getting back with the guys and getting back to regular season basketball?
Yeah, but I wouldn't call it an itch. I was happy in semi-retirement as well. So I enjoy coaching. I enjoy being around the game. And so I'm glad to be back in it. I'm looking forward specifically to coaching this team because I do think we do have good young talent and guys that will listen and work, and I think that's a good combination.
How does Jason Smith help you?
Well, is that what you're going to ask?
Yeah, same thing.
Stole it.
Great mind.
Having a 7, I thought footer was going to be the next. Okay. No, he's a quality veteran player that can shoot the ball all the way out to the 3. He's added that to his game. He's a lot of times some of the bigger players that have the ability to do that aren't really a factor at all in the paint. They just sort of float around out there and shoot. But actually, defensively, he does a nice job in the paint. He uses his body, and he's not afraid to take hard fouls, for instance, things like that. And I think he's going to be a valuable role guy for us.
Having probably 6 or 8 guys on your team who can play 2 spots, how much does that make your job easier, give you flexibility to play different ways throughout games?
It's easier and harder both because obviously somebody's going to be left out.